Welcome to the VEX Robotics Competition referee training videos, designed for both referees and teams. This is Chapter 10, Robot Skills Challenge and Skills Stop Time. Normally, the Robot Skills Challenge is very similar to the head-to-head VRC game, with only a change to the layout or a couple of minor rule changes. However, this year, the Robot Skills Challenge has added a few key new elements. The first change you may notice is that the Robot Skills Challenge uses a totally different layout than a normal VRC change-up match. 14 red balls are placed around the field, while 15 blue balls start pre-scored in goals. The robot will receive a 15th red ball to use as a preload, which should abide by the same rules discussed in SG1 or Chapter 2 of this video series. The remaining ball of each color that is normally found in a change-up match is not used in the Robot Skills Challenge. Per RSC1, robots are allowed to start in either home zone, with the drive team members standing in the corresponding alliance station. In Robot Skills matches, teams represent a member of the Red Alliance, competing against a hypothetical Blue Alliance who has scored all of their balls. The final score can be interpreted as how far the red robot has been able to overcome this deficit in their 60-second Robot Skills match. As such, teams receive points by scoring only red balls and owning only red goals. Additionally, teams receive points for any blue balls that are removed from their starting positions in goals. These points are equal to how many points would have been de-scored from the Blue Alliance by removing that ball. To calculate this, all balls will be scored at the end of a Robot Skills match for their respective alliances, with the same scoring rules as a standard VRC change-up match. The team's Robot Skills match score will then be calculated as follows: Red Alliance score minus Blue Alliance score plus 63. Let's break this formula down a little further. In a perfect VRC change-up match, where an alliance has scored every ball and owns every goal, they would receive a max score of 63 points. In the case of a Robot Skills match, the Blue Alliance is essentially starting with this max score of 63, and it is up to the Red Alliance to overcome this deficit as much as possible. At the start of every Robot Skills match, the score is 0. That is to say, 0 minus 63 plus 63. For every goal that changes from blue to red ownership, blue is losing points and red is gaining points. If the Red Alliance manages to score every red ball, own all 9 goals, and de-score every blue ball, they would achieve a maximum score of 126. 63 points for the Red Alliance, minus 0 points for the Blue Alliance, plus 63. The next big change for the Robot Skills Challenge this season is the introduction of Skills Stop Time. If a team wishes to end their Robot Skills match early, they may elect to record a Skills Stop Time. This may be used as a tiebreaker for Robot Skills Challenge rankings and is recorded in 1-second increments. A Skills Stop Time does not affect a team's score for that given Robot Skills match. Teams who wish to utilize Skills Stop Time during a Robot Skills Challenge match must verbally confirm their wish to do so with the referee prior to the match. If no notification is given, the team has forfeited their option for recording a Skills Stop Time. This conversation should include which drive team member will be signaling the stop and how they will be doing so. So, how does a team signal when to record their Skills Stop Time? This will vary from event to event based on the hardware being used to control the field. Let's discuss some of the different field control methods that are available in the Robot Skills Challenge. First option is by using a V5 robot brain. Starting in VexOS version 1.0.11, teams now have the ability to start and stop their Robot Skills Challenge matches directly through a button on the brain's touchscreen or their V5 controller. To do this, teams simply need to connect their V5 controller to the field control brain through a smart cable, and then run the field control program on the brain. They then simply press the Start button to start their match, and the End button, or the Power button on their V5 controller, if they wish to end it early. If they do not need to end the match early, it will automatically end after 60 seconds as normal and disable the robot. After ending the match, their Skills Stop Time will appear, and it can be shown to the referee for recording. It is recommended that when a team is using a V5 robot brain for field control, they remember to tape over the Ethernet port on their V5 controller to prevent accidentally plugging the smart cable into the wrong port. The next method of controlling a field for Robot Skills matches is through Tournament Manager Mobile or Tournament Manager Desktop. Just like using a V5 robot brain, teams still have the option of starting and stopping their matches through Tournament Manager. At events whose Robot Skills Challenge fields have neither Tournament Manager nor a V5 robot brain available, They will be running their fields through a VexNet competition switch in conjunction with a manual timer, like a stopwatch or a cell phone. In this case, teams will need to manually signal when they want their skills stop time to be recorded. It is recommended that this signal should be both verbal and visual, such as the drive team members crossing their arms in an X and yelling "Stop!" If the scorekeeper's manual timer counts down to 0 with greater accuracy than 1 second increments, like on a cell phone stopwatch, then the time shown on the timer at the end of the robot skills match should be rounded up to the nearest second. For example, if the robot is disabled as the stopwatch shows 25.2 seconds, then the skills stop time should be recorded as 26. Referees using a competition switch should easily be able to disable the robot and stop the match timer simultaneously. It will be at the event partner's discretion which of these methods are used to record skills stop times at a given event. This method should be communicated prior to the event, and it must be available to all teams. If multiple fields are being used for robot skills matches, there must be one referee per field to record skills stop times, and the same method of recording skills stop times must be used at each field. That is to say, a team can't bring their own V5 robot brain to a field to record skills stop times, while other teams are using competition switches and stopwatches. One final note. To better support social distancing, this season we'll be introducing a new type of skills-only event, a remote skills event. As far as gameplay rules are concerned, remote skills events should be treated the same as an in-person skills-only event. Same possession limits, same expansion limits, same time limits, and so forth. For more information regarding the event management nuances of a remote skills event, please refer to the August 17th game manual update or contact your REC Foundation Regional Support Manager. That's all for Chapter 10. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other chapters in this referee training series.